Hey,
Johnny.
Doing, yeah, good to see you.
Hey, how you doing today?
How you been?
Good. Good to see you.
This is wicked, man. Tell me about this.
All right. Well, this is our scale model of a hybrid wing body flying aircraft. This is a 21-foot span scale version of a larger aircraft that we would fly. This program's been underway for about 4 years, and we've got this really fantastic team at NASA working with our industry partners from Boeing and Cranfield to do some low-speed flight testing.
Well, can you tell me some of the differences between this aircraft and the ones that we're flying today?
So this aircraft is it's a blended configuration. So we blend the wing and the fuselage in a way that it's more of an integrated configuration, and we do that.
See that?
Yeah, we do that to get us benefits in a couple of areas. First one is the aircraft is more efficient, so we get better fuel burn characteristics. What we call lift to drag ratio is much better. And the other thing we get with an aircraft like this that we're trying to prove out is we get better noise characteristics. And that will depend upon the engine placement, of course, and that's one of the things that we're trying to work on over time with this type of configuration.
Really?
So this aircraft gives us that 1-2 punch. Better fuel burn, better noise.
Nice. We've been working tube and wing for like 50 years, right? 50 plus. I mean, why innovate?
Yeah, so we think, it's just because of that reason. We've been working tube and wing for a long time. We've polished that configuration for a long, long time. We think we've probably gotten the best out of it that we can in terms of fuel burn and noise reduction. And as I was explaining to you earlier, this configuration, we think we can build and design such a thing to work both fuel burn and noise at the same time. So it's that simultaneous attainment of two very major critical goals where we think a configuration like this can help us out.
Okay, so this is a scale model, obviously.
Right, Johnny.
So if you built this up, I mean, will it look exactly the same?
Yeah, Johnny, this is an exact replica. It would scale up to have the same characteristics, same shape, same look as this scaled version. So one of the things we're trying to work on there, though, is the placement of the engines and the type of engines that we might use on it. So the engine location might be a little bit different.
I see this one's all mounted all the way towards the back.
Right. What we have here, these are potted engines. Okay. So that's one concept that we have that we're looking at. It's a lower risk idea. Okay. Potted means that it's sitting up off the airplane.
Okay.
Right. So you can see that it's mounted up, and there's some space between the body and the engine itself. There are a couple of other ideas floating around, like embedded engines, and they would be sunk down inside the airframe, and there would be little inlets to take the air needed to drive the propulsion system. So that's another idea that we're starting to explore in wind tunnel testing.
Really?
Yeah.
So obviously, this is in the testing phase. Where do you see this? I mean, how do you see this progressing?
Right. So Johnny, we're working with the Air Force. We're working with Boeing, R&T on this project, and this thing has a long. The vision for this is long range. So initially, we think it's probably a military application, cargo carrying application. And then maybe out 2030, 2035, we move on. Maybe it's commercial cargo, package carrying, and then maybe in the long run it becomes a passenger carrying aircraft. But that's way out in the future. I
would love to see this thing fly. I mean, is this RC'd? Is this remote controlled?
Yeah, what we decided to do here is use an unmanned approach. It's cheaper to do that in the get-go when you start out with a scale model. So it's unmanned, it's remotely piloted. We take the thing up, we fly for about 30 minutes from a trailer that goes along with the aircraft.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's check it out.
All right.
Let's go.
On this morning, Johnny and the crew were in for a treat because the X-48 flight test was flown out on one of the most famous test areas in the world, the 44 square mile dry lake beds out at NASA Dryden.
pilot show us lining up on the runway.
Yep, you're looking real good.
For the second flight of the day, Johnny went back to the remote piloting facility to meet up with Boeing test pilot Mike Cizo to see how the aircraft is flown.
Hey, I'm here with pilot Michael Cizo. Check this out. Hey, tell us exactly where we are.
We're in the ground control station, or GCS,
Right.
where we remotely control the X-48
Sure.
based on all these displays, and the full cockpit setup is here, so I have all the information necessary for flight and monitor all the parameters to stay airborne and safely land.
That's awesome. Are we ready to go?
Absolutely, we're ready to start the mission.
Let's go.
We're ready to launch on that 2-3 right. My clearance will take off and we'll call you airborne.
Launch is ready.
Power's coming in.
Right. Come on, look out.
Good engines.
Sky road for airborne. Nice liftoff.
10,000 and below. We're now passing 2,700. Switch over to sport. You can see this display shows my heads out view,
Right.
and that's what the nose of the plane is seeing. And on this display here, that's my ground track coming up, and then that's actually the circle. The actual airplane is that little dot here where we are. That's an impact predictor that if we had to, if some unfortunate event happened, we had to terminate this remote control vehicle, that's where it would go.
Really?
With the flight path.
Is it me or is this thing moving?
It's interesting. It feels like it's moving. If you look at this and look outside, you feel like it's moving, but it's actually not. And that's one of the things that we have to deal with, is that there's no motion inside here, and we have to imagine what it'd be like on the airplane.
Chase will be a right-hand turn, 180 at the rear.
We're approaching 5,000 feet MSL now. Basically, our flights last about 30 to 35 minutes, so that's about how much time we have fuel for.
Yeah, fuel for.
Yeah, Chase, we're coming
Right on.
right now.
Coming right now. Decent sun angle on the camera. Yeah.
So how long have you been flying as a pilot?
Over 20 years.
Right on.
So
Chase will be at the end of the area, will be a right-hand turn back.
I look forward to actually being able to fly this airplane when it comes out full scale.
I'm sure you are.
My normal landing is speed brake position 1. I've set that up. We're running our before landing checks now. And I'm basically heading outbound, and I'll be starting a turn looking for the landing runway. Unfortunately, I don't have a 360-degree view like your name suggests, but what I'm doing is if I need any help, I'll use Chase, but actually having the view out the plane and also the God's eye view here.
Right,
help
I'm
me set
watching
up.
that.
Yep.
Right.
And we're going to be landing basically on the southern edge of the boundary, coming down for the landing point there.
Gotcha.
Then we actually do have an artificial, like an instrument landing system that helped me tell me whether I'm high or low on glide path or left or right of center line. And now I can see the runway that I'm going to be aiming for.
Yeah.
And eventually the markers will start coming in with the instrument landing.
Touchdown. That's awesome.
Brakes applied. And another flight of the X-48 complete.
Smooth landing.
Yeah.